Hello, and it's that time of the month in which I talk about what I did last month, and that is because it is another Manga Log, and this one's a little bit interesting for the small fact that I read more than I usually do, and that's saying something because my life has been dedicated solely. I really, truly, wholeheartedly mean this to Elden Ring. Quite literally, I put a lot more hours in there in that game than I thought I was going to, and as a result, I'm getting closer to the end, but still going through it and still finding things and loving it. But that's not what you're here about. If you want to hear more of my thoughts and opinions on Elden Ring, I do have a video on it that you can go check out. But I think you are all here to learn what mangas and comics that I've been reading, because I actually read some comics. So, let's get into it. In total, in the month of April 2022, I have read a total of 49 volumes of manga, 2 comics, as well as finished 7 series. That being said, 2 of those are the comics. So 5 series in total, 2 comics, and it's a doozy of amount that I've done. So instead of me rambling on, let's get on to what I haven't really talked about in a while, and that is comics. And it's going to be a relatively short section, but then we can get into what I finished, and then we'll go into what I started. So let's go into it. So, comic-wise, I've only read 2 volumes of comics, though I also put them in the finish because they are their own self-contained story, but they technically are in the same series, so I don't know if I'll continue putting them in the finish section, but it is what it is. So, what I read comic-wise, there are only 2 volumes, like I said, but they are in the same series. And if you have seen any of the videos that I've done, then you might already know what comics I read, and that is the origin stories of Jester and Caleb Widogast from the Mighty Nein, the Critical Role Campaign 2. So these are the origins of 2 of the characters. There are more of them coming out. You got a little bit of them in the live streams, and these just flesh them out and give more context to them. You do get a little bit while watching the live streams, and you do understand them well, but it's interesting to see these characters actually witness what happened before they went into the live stream and met the rest of the Mighty Nein. And it is quite fun to see it, as well as realizing, and I still remember this, Liam O'Brien, why do all your fucking characters have to have a dark backstory? Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, Caleb is really sad. Jester's is sad in a different way. They're D&D characters. Every D&D character has sad backstory, unless, some cases they don't, but most cases they do. It's an interesting sort of thing. I will say, if you are planning on reading these, you don't need to know you don't need to have watched Campaign 2 to get a feel for them. I think they do a pretty good job of explaining these characters' origins. Though I will say, this is an interesting topic. If you watch Campaign 2 and you want to read them, you'll get a good showing of what these characters went through, and actually see, instead of just hearing them explain it. So you could read these before watching Campaign 2, though some are major spoilers. major spoilers, as well as this one. So if you don't care about the live stream, go ahead, read it. If you do care about it and want to watch Campaign 2, then I would say watch it, get to the point where they are explaining their backstories, and then read them to get a better, fuller context of it. But on to other series that I finished. Alright, on to manga that I have finished. Series that I have finished, though. One of them is only like an omnibus of 2 volumes, technically. And it's a really self-contained story that I would have been fine with watching, play out longer, but I'm happy with what I got. So, on to actually talking about what I finished. There's 5 of them, and some of them are doozy. Most, besides one of them, no, 2 of them are a doozy. So, on to the first one, and this one I have talked about before, and I highly recommend it, and that is Love Me for Who I Am. Quite literally, this is a very great series. It's only 5 volumes long, and highly recommend it to anyone and everyone that wants to, read a story that is essentially acceptance of who you are, as well as accepting others for who they are, and it is great. And I quite enjoyed it. It made me tear up at the end, and it was very, very good. Little bit of backstory. Essentially, I always pronounce their name wrong, but Mogomo, I think is how you pronounce their name. Non-binary. They go to school. They dress more feminine, but they were technically born male, but they are identified as non-binary. Eventually find this lovely dude, who I forget his name. Opening in the book, very beginning, characters. Tetsuo. Tetsuo invites them to their cafe that they run with their sister, to question where all the people are essentially dudes that dress up as girls, and go from there. And it's a very great story of acceptance, learning, and I quite enjoyed it. It could have gone on a little bit longer, and yet it didn't really overstay its welcome. It also had a very stressful, especially in this volume, talk about coming out to your parents, and I eventually should do that to my family more than just my dad. But it is one of those situations where it's hard to try and figure out the best way to bring up topics like this, and yet I feel like it does it well as just happy to share more experiences. It's nice to show people that you're normal for who you are, and not just be like, oh man, they're just doing it to be like, oh, we're hip with the teens and all that. But I enjoyed it, and it just made me feel warm and fuzzy at points. It made me feel sad, and I'm happy for where it ended. And it didn't have a dark, depressing ending where I thought Volume 4 was leaving off. So happy that Volume 5 was able to share some, happiness at the end, as well as a lot more work that needs to be done, especially in society now. I will say, just going out there, no matter who you are, you are welcome on my channel. Talk. I'm not going to shame you. I'm literally have no reason why to. So if you are feeling alone or saddened, just know that you have some place to come and talk, and I would be willing to talk. So just remember that you are loved, and who the fuck cares about what anyone else thinks or says about you? Just find your own happiness in life. So really good series, especially if you want to hear that in life more often. So from one heavy topic to one that's a little bit less heavy, but definitely is dark anyways. It's segueing from that series to anyways, that's Parasyte. I finally got around to finishing it all 8 volumes of Parasyte. I will eventually put out a video talking about the more minute topics of this. I have read this numerous times in high school, as well as, wanting to buy it physically for my collection for a while, but was difficult to find more than 1 or 2 volumes here and there. Finally was able to get all 8 volumes and read all of them again. I will have a video out on my more in-depth topics, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. If you want that, eventually it will be out. It will be linked in the video when that happens. So, there, Parasyte. Really good one. From there, onto the one that is just a omnibus and has the complete manga, and that is a really good one, I would say. And the girl I want is so handsome. This is a Yuri, obviously. It is quite adorable and wholesome, and at points, just the communication that couples need. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm not going to date anyone, and yet I understand that in order to develop a relationship, just fucking talk to each other. I don't know. It's one of those minute situations where I'm just like, fucking just speak and converse, and you wouldn't have as many problems. So, all in all, pretty solid. It's only 1 volume, and it's $20. So if you want one that you can read in an hour, you go ahead. It's fun. It's great. The 2 main leads, they're adorable, and they're adorable together. So, just fucking talk to each other. That's all I'm saying. Ooh, another solidly fat, juicy, large series that took me fucking forever to find the last volume for, and I finally found it. By the way, thank you HVL Manga for posting that on Instagram so I could find it and buy it, and then proceed to have a month or 2 later my local Books A Million have the last volume multiple times, and it took me a solid year to find the last volume of Dorohedoro. A fucking solid fucking year. Like, I started reading this at the beginning of 2021, and I wasn't able to finish reading it until fucking April of 2022. I'm not 100% sure. I think I read volume 22 in April of last year. Jesus fucking Christ, it took too long to find this 1 volume. It's a great story. Go out, get it, and read it if you are able to find it. Unless you... Okay, not based off the manga, but Jesus Christ, it took way too long to find 1 goddamn volume of a fucking series. Why didn't they print more? Every other fucking volume in this series was printed so much, but volume 23? No, let's not print more of volume 20 fucking 3. I'm fine. It's a really good series. Go out, read it. I'll make a video on it, dictating the entire series as a whole. But volume 23, why the fuck was it so fucking hard to print more of these? This came out in 2019 before the pandemic. Like, why did this volume just die? I'm fine. I am fine. I'm not going to rant any longer on the fact that it took me so long. I'm fine. It's alright. Just gonna take a deep breath and go on to one that's a little bit more calmer, relax, and very short. While Dorohedoro was only 23 volumes, this one was only 3 volumes, and that is Rainbow and Black. This is a weird story, but kind of wholesome at points. It tells the story of this lovely lady who is named Kuro, which is the name of, I'm pretty sure is black in Japanese, and she has a pet named Niji, which I'm pretty sure means rainbow. I'm not 100% sure, but a very special pet that is called a rainbow songbird that isn't actually a bird, and it's also called a happy mouse. It's a weird animal. Kuro sees the world in black and white, and this little puffball Niji, he's a adorable animal mouse thing. There's only 3 volumes. If you want to read a series that quite literally is short, sweet, weird, wholesome at points, and that's it, go on, read it. 3 solid volumes, $13.99, so it's not too expensive with 3 volumes. If it was longer, then yeah, I don't think it went on too long or too short. I think it was alright. Weird ending, but hey, it is what it is. So I'm calming down from the rant that I had about Dorohedoro. So on to other things, but yes, lovely pile is what I finished this month. On to things that I started this month that won't, make me explode. So let's get on with it. Alright, on to a less contentious topic than volume 23 of Dorohedoro. And that is what I started this month. There was a lot. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different series that I started this month. Quite literally, I'm still surprised that I started so many and yet was still able to play so much Elden Ring. Also, my parents visited last month. Like, quite literally, I'm shocked about how much I fucking read. It's weird. Anyways, so starting off one that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have known about, have heard about, have, been around, they understand, maybe they've watched the anime, and quite literally this fucking series is batshit insane, and that's why I like it, so I don't really need to talk too much about it, and that is Record of Ragnarok. It's fucking insane and I love it. So, premise-wise, the gods say fuck it to humanity, want to start the annihilation, maybe start over. The Valkyries are like, bullshit, we're starting Ragnarok, let's get some goddamn people from human history up in this bitch and fight some gods. And it's insane. Quite literally, I don't have much else to say because it's crazy. Each of the human people that are joining will be also accompanied by a Valkyrie, and essentially if they lose sorry, I'll make sure to turn that down. If they lose 7 times, then humanity is fucked. If they win, then humanity gets a second chance, and the gods can go fuck themselves, because fuck them. Quite literally, especially if we're talking like Greek mythology, fuck those gods. Kratos did a good job. But, it's very interesting to say the least. It's a crazy concept of humans fighting gods with the help of the Valkyries. Let's go. And also, the matchups at the end, you see them at the very, very end of the first volume, so it's not too crazy. And Jesus Christ, there were a few that I was not expecting, but why the fuck not? And I'm just gonna show this. These are the matchups. You see that right? Like fucking Nikola Tesla? That's gonna be an interesting fight, to say the least. And I'm excited to see where it turns. And I think so far, manga-wise, I think they've only had 4 or 5 fights now, and this is still within the first fight, which is Thor versus, what's his name? I forget his name. I think it's Lobo? Oh shit. What's his name? What's the dude's name? Do. What's this dude's name? Do. China's ultimate hero, Lubu. I'm mispronouncing this motherfucker's name, but this dude. So, it's interesting to say the least, and quite enjoyable, and I would like to continue reading it. I think I already have volume 2 on the pile to read. So, very solid series. Sorry about the weirdness of my life. Anyways, on to the second series that I started that I randomly picked up because I said, fuck it, why not? Which is a lot of series that I read, and that is Dungeon Dive, Aim for the Deepest Level. And it is an isekai. This dude right here, Awakawa Kaminami, I'm probably butchering his name, gets teleported into a dungeon, which sucks, because some other isekai protagonists that I know have been teleported to a dungeon isn't strong, doesn't actually know what the fuck he's doing. Like, quite literally, he has some sort of magic that could be overpowered, but he has no idea how to use it and is slowly learning. But I like it. It's interesting. I have volume 2 already on the pile again, and I think I also have volume 3, but I'm not 100% sure without looking. Really interesting. Interested to see where this goes. He wants to go back to his world because his sister's there, who's in the hospital, and he's worried about her, obviously. So, really cool, interesting premise. The guy doesn't seem to be overpowered, but that might change in the coming volume. So, solidly, all around, really good start. Which is saying something with these guys. Sometimes the premise lands flat, sometimes it lands well, sometimes it's iffy. But so far it's alright. Which is saying something. On to the next series, and that is... Oh god, Jesus, why are they so long names? Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games. And this one is a interesting sort of series where essentially this girl right here, who is named Aya? Yeah, Aya, goes into a all-girls schools to be a nice feminine lady. And there's this other girl at the academy named Shirayuri-sama, probably mispronouncing her name, is like the princess or the prince or whatever. They are like the most popular girl in the school. And turns out she finds this one young lady that she believes is the pinnacle, and definitely isn't like her, who's I think what she thinks is like a degenerate that just plays fighting games all the time. Turns out she also plays fighting games, and she wants to beat her. And also, like, I'm pretty sure there's like feelings. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's implied that they might like each other in a different way than other friendship, but I might be misreading that situation. I misread a lot of situations like that. So, all in all, interesting series. I have volume 2 already. Will eventually read it if I ever beat Elden Ring. So, yeah, all in all, pretty good series. Funny, especially if you are into fighting games. I'm not too into it, but it's solid, alright. On to the next series. Jesus Christ, I've started way too many series. I don't have a problem, you have a problem. Don't know why I said that. One that was interesting that I saw a few times walking around the stores and seeing other people talk about it, and that is Mars Red. One, this cover looks awesome. The amount of red on it makes it pop out, and spines are alright, but that cover, I really enjoy this cover. Essentially, vampires in Tokyo before, I think, World War II. Essentially it's within 1912 to 1926. So around that time frame, in Japan, essentially vampires are real. And this force is essentially made up of super soldiers, which are just vampires. And it's an interesting type of deal with the vampires, as well as the different sort of rating systems with the vampires, and it's really cool and interesting, and I enjoy it. So, fuck it. I'm interested to also see where it leads, and, the opening part, it's sort of like, oh, this is where the story's going to go. Let's see how it transpires. So, oh no, pretty interesting. I keep on saying interesting. Pretty good start, I would say. Oh, Jesus. Talking a lot. Just two more. One that's definitely for older people, and it definitely says it. So, yeah. And that is 2D 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. Is a weird one that I bought the second volume to, because why the fuck not? I don't know. Essentially, there's this guy who is named Okumara. He's just an otaku that really likes this one character from animated series whose name is Lilith. Lily. Lilo? I fucking don't know how to pronounce names. And he's the only person left in the manga club. Then at the beginning of the school year, the first years come in, and this girl who is really into cosplaying, this girl is like, can I join? And also, can you take photos of me cosplaying? And he's like, yeah. And then also, he might have feelings at the start for her, but he doesn't know if it's just because of her dressing up like the character he likes, or it's because of her. So, interesting. And then they throw in another girl into the mix that, don't know why people do this, but apparently it happens. Just fucking talk and say you like them, and move on, and that's it. So, yeah. Interested to see where it goes. Mostly fan service, so I can't really show you much of it. I mean, you can already tell based off the cover. So, all in all, alright series if you want to read it for fan service wise. So, yeah. Alright. On to the last new series that I started. Jesus fucking Christ. And that is... this one won't take too long. Hopefully. Wish this apartment was cooler, but it's not. But let's get into what other manga I started this month, and that is Deadpool Samurai, which, if you've read Deadpool, if you know Deadpool, you'll like it. If you enjoy Deadpool in any other settings that isn't Japan, you'll like it. Essentially, Deadpool breaks the fourth wall a lot and is asked by the Avengers to go to Japan to start a new Avengers, which is Avengers Samurai or something like that, or something. Do. I want some looks to get me through this. Samurai Squad, that's what it's called. It took me a bit. But essentially you go there, start their own squad, which the Avengers have done. Like there's the West Coast Avengers, East Coast Avengers, New Lake Avengers type deal, but in Japan. And I was like, cool, they're going to make brand new characters. No, they essentially rehashed Spider-Man and Venom so far, so I don't know how Volume 2 is going to be, but it was funny at points and it made me laugh at points, and that's all I really care about. I think that's it. If you like Deadpool, read Deadpool. That took a lot longer than it usually does. Granted, I started and finished a lot of series as well as read a lot of comics. So, this lovely pile is the series that I started. Probably going to continue reading most of them, because most of them I have the next volume to, except Deadpool. I don't know if Volume 2 is out. I haven't seen anyone read about Volume 2 or talk about Volume 2, not read about. I'm just going to end the video. So, yeah. That took a lot longer than usual. Granted, I did read a lot more than usual, and started a lot more, and finished a lot more. It just so happened that's where my manga buying happened to land. All in all, though, really good series that I finished, really good series that I started, and hopefully you all enjoyed it. I'm still playing Elden Ring, so I might not be able to read as much as I did last month, or I might read as much as, or the same. I'm not 100% sure what the fuck I'm talking about, but hopefully you do, because I have no idea. Please send help. I'm just going to end the video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully you all had a very nice, safe month. The next month is lovely, lovely Pride Month, so hopefully you're all going to be ready for that and have a nice, safe time. But we're still in May, and it's been quite busy already, and I can't say that I'm excited for the rest of the year, though I am hoping for the best. So, if you've read anything interesting last month, put it down in the comments. If you have any recommendations for me to read, put it in the comments. I'm always all ears for them. If you enjoyed this video, think about hitting the like button. If you don't want to see more of this bearded face, hit that subscribe button. There are playlists in the description saying other videos and playlists that I have made that may curate to your taste. And that's about it. And yeah, I'm terrible at ending these things, so hopefully you all had a lovely time. Hopefully your rest of your weeks, months, years are lovely, and just be safe and read